Yeah, I've been coaching Jason for a while on and off. Experimentation? What am I experimenting? What do you mean? Oh, yeah, no, I'm accepting the face cam. I'm gonna keep doing it. I'm gonna keep it on. If I ever have it off, yell at me. Yo,
Hello.
how's it going, bud?
Going good.
Good to hear. Go ahead and pull up my video on here. Let me know when you got it up, and I'm just gonna do a quick test to make sure it is working correctly.
I can see your screen.
Okay, let me just play the video real quick. I just want to make sure that you can see it.
Yep.
Sweet. Okay, cool. This is hopefully a fix for any of the frame drops that have happened in the past. Let's hope it keeps working. Alrighty. Oh, I forgot to open my notepad here. What did you want to go over today specifically?
I think just general like VOD analysis, really. Maybe specifically some stuff for the Inkling matchup.
Yeah, I saw you got 2 Inkling going on here, so that'll be fun.
Also, if we have time, I kind of want to talk about snake ledge trapping because I'm not really that good at ledge trapping at all.
I can do that really quick first. How about that?
All right, that sounds good.
We're gonna make it really easy too. We're gonna do the simplified, and then I'll teach you the complex version. Okay. So I won't. This is a little easier to go back and take your own notes on this. So with this lesson, will be put on YouTube as well for you. But so just make sure that this will be right at the beginning for you. So the way you want to do it, more times than not, is you want to stand right around here from the ledge and up smash.
Your camera like is covering the ledge.
That's okay. That's funny. Let me do it on the other side. You want to stand like around here?
Yeah.
And then from here, and then you'd up smash, right? And you can mix this up, but up smash makes it land here. And the idea of up smash is that you can mix up to have it land further, or on the ledge itself, or past the ledge, or just a little bit close. Depending on the character and the matchup, one can be a little bit better depending on how big their ledge hang, or if they don't snap ledge, etc., right?
Stand in one spot and control where the mortar goes?
Well, no. The idea is that you can move a little bit, like take one extra step and do it, or like charge the up smash to have different timing for when it happens, all that stuff, right? So there's tiny little variables for that, right? But the whole idea and what you do is super simple. So what you do is you stand here, you up smash, and then you dash back. And walk back. And when you do that, from this point here, you are reacting to whatever option they pick.
Okay.
And whether that's like rolling, whether that's neutral get up, jump, or drop a jump, any of that stuff, when you're positioned back here, 1, they have to avoid the mortar. 2, they have to avoid you. And that's it. Because in this moment, if they do, you know how people try to do the perfectly timed neutral get up to get around the mortar?
Yeah.
What do you do to cover that?
Just dash attack.
Exactly, it's that easy. And what you have to get better confidence in doing is reacting to the startup of the character shifting on the ledge.
Yeah.
You don't always have to react to exactly what they do, but it's more about reacting to the shifting. So the next thing I want to talk about is specifically for if they jump to go around a mortar, because that's the hard one to catch, right?
Jump's unreactable, I believe, right?
That's
the only
correct.
one that's not reactable. Yeah.
So when they jump, the big thing is that someone can control the direction that they jump from the ledge. So if they hold in towards the stage, out, or if they go straight up, right?
I didn't actually know that.
Yeah, everyone can do that. So you have a mix-up immediately from that point. But here's the big thing. You know when we talked about like punishing landings, right? It's like making people land on you, right?
Yeah.
In that situation, where is the safest place for that person to go?
The PS2 platform.
In theory, or just in general. So let's say someone is just in the air and they're trying to land. What is the safest place in the game to go to?
Ledge.
Right.
Invincibility.
Right. But if you jump from a ledge, there is no safe zone anymore.
You can't regrab with invincibility.
No, you can't regrab it. And if you do that versus Snake, you are super dead.
'Cause I just down smash.
You just
or,
down smash, you just dash attack. You do whatever you want. That's the best part. You can up tilt people off ledge.
It's
like,
crazy.
yeah,
You ever
it's
see
nuts.
the footage of the Crom starting an up B and the snake just up tilting it? Like, yeah.
I love that stuff. So what you do in this moment is you let them jump. Because unless you have like a hard read or you like condition someone to jump, the odds of you jumping and hitting that with like back air or up air or whatever, really low. And it's kind of hard for Snake to do that too, unless again, you have to have the anticipation to be covering it inherently. So without that, what you do from this moment, you're just watching, because wherever they try to go, so let's say they try to go all the way across the stage. Let's say they're a character that can do that, you just follow them from the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just whatever they do.
Yeah,
like,
whatever
they'll probably
they do
it again if they get put back at ledge.
And that's the thing, right? Is they have to do that. And then so let's say it's like, oh, okay, let's say he tries to go to the platform. Well, lucky you, Mr. Snake, you can just do whatever you want to that platform.
I could even put a C4
you
there.
You could even put a C4 and preemptively cover it. You're right. See, you're already thinking how to like evolve this further. This is the simplified of just up smash, positioning. That's it. Now, if you have time for other things, okay? So let's get rid of all this. There are a couple different ways that you can now amplify this. My personal favorite way to do this is putting C4 on the ledge itself, then doing up smash, and then positioning. Because then they super cannot hang there, or even if my up smash misses, they gotta move.
This is the C4.
Because the C4. And the C4 applies positional pressure. Because it's, okay, you sit there and you look at them and you're sitting there like, I dare you to hold it. And if they start to get up, you just boop, and they jump, they get hit. Because the explosion is like, where's the circle? It's just like,
yeah.
So you get that. You get my point? So you have that. You can do the same thing with a grenade lob. The way you lob the grenade, for example, certain players like to lob it up here so that it slowly drifts down to catch a jump. Or they'll just lob it from the ground here and do that as well. Or there are certain players that will then do up smash, nade, roll back into said position. There's no right way to do any of this, and that's the big thing. The simplified is the right way, is the optimal way. The other ways are if you have time. So you want to start just doing the optimal, like up smash into position, and create that. Then start adding the spice. That makes sense.
I have the train mode mod pack with random. It can cycle between random get ups. So
and you can just sit and do this over and over. Yep.
Yeah, I feel like practicing that on Wi-Fi isn't gonna help that much. So
it's not that good on Wi-Fi. What you can do is like the once you get better at like. The big thing too is like keeping in mind with ledge trapping, and like this is where people get really fixated, is like you don't have to get the ledge trap. And this is kind of something we briefly touched on before, but it's that idea. It's like a failed ledge trap leads into a successful corner trap or landing trap. You maintain advantage. And that's the big thing. You want to get good enough that you can catch get-ups, because that's also a really important skill to have. But what's important is knowing how to play out when you don't get it. Because people, it's random, right? You're not going to get it 100% of the time unless the person is very unfamiliar or uncomfortable, right? And so with that, sometimes people just roll for no reason. And you don't need to worry about why. Like the why people pick options doesn't really matter right now. All you have to do is get better at seeing them. And that's where the train mode mod pack will be really good.
Gotcha. I guess for that, like, we can still talk about it a little bit for everything else, but then we could probably study the snake VOD first, since we're talking about snake.
Exactly. Yeah, we can totally do that. Okay, do you have any questions?
No, I think I understand it pretty well.
Awesome.
I guess, are there any other, like, because the optimal way doesn't really, like, use that many grenades. Instead of the other one to lob it up, are there any use of using 2 specific grenades, or is that maybe
like, you can just lay the nades down and get into position. Like, nades can be good. I think a combination of nade with up smash, like incorporating up smash is the most important thing to do. Yeah. Because even if you up smash and you know that person's uncomfortable, do you know what you get to do?
Just up smash again.
You just up smash again, exactly.
I miss Speed Patch up smash when you could get 3 mortars out at a time.
Oh yeah, no, it's you can get some crazy stuff, and like that's the thing, is like all you got to do is just kind of see how the person does it. You want to get that base down. and then you can kind of just go with the flow. That's the best part. The right answer is just that base, and how you build off that base is always right, as long as you have the time to set up. That's the big thing.
All right, cool. All right.
Yeah, that's the big thing. And that's where like a lot of people get fixated on like nades, but by the time you pull out the second nade, a lot of times they're already doing their get up, and like you're missing on everything, right? And that's where people get like fixated on that. And that's why I try to say to get away from that and lean on that up smash more to start.
I definitely had that habit. I tried to do too many things.
Exactly. That's something we talked about. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's all it is. It's just reminding yourself that it's like, you don't have to do more. More is not inherently better. And that's always the big thing. So let's go ahead and see what's going on here.
That was meant to be up throw.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That was good that you reacted, that you got the misinput and almost caught him with the dash attack though. Ooh. Okay. I like the way you're using down tilt.
Yeah, it's so good in this matchup.
Nice. Almost. Yeah, that's gonna be really hard. Yeah, you got a shield there to bait it. Or you have to jab afterwards. Oh no!
Myself. I was trying to, I don't even know what I was doing there. I think I was trying to down B. Or I mean neutral B.
Either that or you thought you had a jump. Is also very possible. Yeah, and then see there, it's like you get this. This next step is what you have to get better at executing. Because you did this, like, you did it a little late, which is kind of like rough, but the idea is there, and you just dropped, like, you flubbed the execution. Like, the whole setup for the situation is really good.
Yeah.
Makes sense?
Makes sense.
And the best part, too, is, like, even in those situations you get the, like, the corner trap, you're a character that wins trades.
Yeah, it makes sense.
So even if it's like you have to back up and you just, you know, throw out F tilt or like dash stack or up tilt, you win the trade and they're still in disadvantage and you're in like baby disadvantage.
Yeah.
Nice. This is good. Yeah, see there, it's like you were kind of just doing too much there. Yeah. And that's the thing where it's like when they're still that close, you don't even have to do anything because again, it's like you want to simplify it to just like up smash, dash attack, and positioning. I will say, I think you're F tilting a little bit too much when you're boxing. I want to see a little bit more jab or like opting for down tilt to try and like position around him. That makes sense.
Yeah, F tilt's like super not safe on shield.
But yeah, I would definitely just respect Lucina's shield a little bit more in general. Nice. There you go. Easy.
This is a tough spot to be
There
in.
you go. No, you did the exact right thing. You did it. You took it slow. You didn't panic up B, which is really good after the second one. You just waited it. And that was really, really good. Ooh, yep, that was... Oh, no, another one, yeah. Almost got him with the bait there. Good. Oh, yeah, and see there, it's like... That's the other thing. I want you to practice your low percent confirms. Like, learn the percents where you actually get confirms. Because with Snake, it's like, there's a lot of hit lag on his moves, but it doesn't always mean that they're safe to confirm. And that's where it tricks you visually. And Rage can change that too, so that's why it's like very, very funky position like that where you don't want to go too fast. Okay, finally got that. Good. And there you go, just wait. And then see there, now you're guessing it. So this is where you're getting stuck, like doing things in twos, is you're applying where we talk about like single nade into react. You're not getting a full reaction, you're going a little bit too fast.
Okay.
Practicing single nade. But you had like the setup again. It's the setup. It's just the execution of what happens after is where you kind of drop the ball.
Gotcha.
Because you get this, and then you go for pressure, and you guess that he was gonna move. You saw that, and had you looked at it, you could have just hit him with like a dash attack. Oh, he got that.
It's kind of crazy.
That was kind of cool. I'm not gonna lie. That was good awareness from him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will say I think you tried to just fight him a little bit too much. You know, don't be afraid to just like being in the corner isn't inherently bad. And like Again,
I
against
I always have the threat of dash attack.
exactly. And so if you, the big thing that you always want to remember is your targets. Don't forget that. Is like dashes, jumps, and whiffs. And Lucina does all that a whole lot. And so don't be afraid to just be like, I don't really know what to do, and like lay a nade down on yourself and see if they'll come after you, or just lob a nade in like any direction that you feel comfortable in that position and do that, or nade and roll back, like whatever, and just like be a little, you're a little too aggressive in this game. And so I just want to like jump to a random point. I just want you to see like your intent to hit him is very explicit.
Yeah.
And so you're always willing to try hit instead of waiting to know when you get to hit him, remember? And that's where you're like, you see, like, that's where you're kind of like messing up, because you're trying to do a lot of things at once. And sometimes you just got to go down and then just throw out an up tilt. And you can do that over and over. And like, this is a matchup where it's like, you could just dash attack, like instant dash attack. You don't have to like fight him conventionally in any way, because you're trying to get around him, but you have the tools to just beat out what he's doing. And you have the way, like, but you have to wait to see him do it. Exactly. That makes sense? Because he's willing to chase you. And it's just that you're trying too hard to like do too many things. And here's like a great example. You do too much, and like you're trying to pick up your grenade, and all you had to do here was just like shield, because it's like, oh, he's chasing, and then he could have hit the nade and then like played off that. And he landed into you there, so you could have down aired him out of shield also.
Yeah.
Because he still has the space under your shield.
And there was the bad forward tilt on there.
That was really good reversal though. And then see, like, now you're still going, you're reacting, and then you just barely dropped the confirm on that, but this entire interaction here was really clean, setting this up, and you just happened to not react to the DI there, and that's okay.
Yeah.
But everything else about that was really, really good.
Awesome.
Do you have any questions?
Not too much. I think I kind of understand what I need to do with that specifically. I'm pretty comfortable in that matchup. I don't really have any issues with it. So I don't really have any like matchup specific questions. I just like wanted to kind of see what I was doing wrong in that particular game.
Yep. Yeah,
the big thing about Lucina is like, I feel like crouching's really good against her, and like you said, waiting to see what she does first, because she has to come to me.
Yep.
Also, down tilt is busted in this matchup.
Oh yeah, down tilt dash attack is great. Like, you have the same thing where it's like, for example, like Lucina can do like really great things to Fox and like really bully him, but Fox's huge burst range makes Lucina have to do it perfectly, and that's the same exact thing that you can do.
Yeah.
Make sense?
Yep.
Okay, cool. So tell me a bit about what's up with Inkling, and what do you feel like you're struggling with that?
I don't particularly know what exactly I'm struggling with. This is LS. He was a Sonic player in Smash 4. I don't know if you're familiar with him.
What's their name? Sorry.
LS. He was a Sonic player in Smash 4. Yeah. Picked up Inkling in this game. We usually go back and forth. I guess one of my big struggles is hitting Inkling, which a lot of people have.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think hitting Inkling, and I think dealing with just kind of Inkling in neutral, just like how defensive they can play, and how defensive his playstyle is as well, those two combined, and just trying to figure out like how to find my openings is kind of hard, I would say.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. Let's go ahead and see what's going on here.
I also go Nesta this matchup because I don't like Snake Inkling.
That's completely valid.
I think Nesta's pretty well in the matchup.
Yeah, Snake is a character that's like, depending on the Inkling, you can do great or you can feel really bad. I think it's a very rough matchup. It's very toxic is a good way to put it. So the big thing you really got to be careful about when you fight Inkling, because this is where they trick you, is combo DI is everything. Especially at these low to mid percents, you want to make sure that if you're getting hit in succession by Inkling, it is true. So after like this, that Nair, that fair was not true, but you got baited to challenge him. When like you don't want to challenge Inkling mid combo, especially if they are reacting during it. And this is like something that you have to kind of feel out when you're fighting a player. It's like some people you can like mash out if they're right on top of you, but especially here, he wasn't close enough to you where like throwing this move out did anything. That makes sense.
The Nair was true after the up air though, right?
Yes, I believe so. I don't remember if it's like how true it is because of your weight and fall speed, and like the platform kind of makes that kind of funky, but Yeah, that one I believe is true.
Okay.
If not, it's very, very close to not being true. So it's
Yeah.
like the goal is to try and like really hard DI away from him and like get out of the situation. Because in this moment here, your goal is to just not continue getting hit. Inkling is a character that builds percent really, really fast in bursts. So they're little sprints of when it happens.
Exactly. That's the most frustrating part of that fighting that character.
Like, this is a character that'll hit you, and then you're at 80 if you're not careful. And like that's the big thing. And so in this moment here, it's like your goal is to like really, really focus on escaping disadvantage. You don't really want to worry about hitting him back unless you see that he is trying to like overextend. That's you want to know when it's not true to take advantage of it. And that's also one of the hardest parts about this matchup is like the character is like mildly popular. I don't want to say unpopular. I don't want to say popular, but it's like not a lot of people play the character really well. So like you don't really, it's hard to tell when things are and aren't true. And so you have to go about it on your own to explore that. And thankfully you can do that in the mod pack as well.
Yeah.
Oh, I think the video is messing up there.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I think the video is getting a little fragmented. Let me see if it gets a little better here.
I hadn't. Okay.
There we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's also a good match to see me not holding on to a lead.
Hmm.
I'm trying to apply corner pressure.
Yeah. And see, it's like, remember, when you're applying corner pressure, you don't need to throw out moves. It's positional pressure for corner trapping. You're getting too caught up in trying to like cover a bunch of options still. And this is where you have to remind yourself, just wait. Because right now you're a little too scared because you don't know exactly how to hit him. But just take an extra step back and see what he does. Because even if he like inches all the way across, you're not getting hit. So it's okay to wait. And that's the big thing you want to always remind yourself. Like, it's okay to wait. And it's okay to not know what to do. That was really good. Nice. There you go. And see there, it's like when he's pressing too many buttons, that's your chance to punish him. Inkling's a character that people get like tricked into being like, oh, they can just back air. But your target is this. So when he lands back air, what you're looking for is what does he do after whiffing? What does Inkling do after whiffing? And the mistake that most people do is they'll do landing bear into short hop into landing bear, right? Or into like another rising aerial or something like that, right? So this one he did dash back, and then watch here. Landing, and he jumps. That jump right there, that's your target. Watch. And jump. That's your target. But you chose a move, like, had you done like forward air there, you would have hit him.
Would have hit.
Aim for jumps as primary target. When Inkling jumps, that's the easiest place that you're going to be able to hit them, but you have to catch them during the jump if you see that they're trying to do landing aerials. If they're doing rising aerials, that's where you have to try like out spacing or winning trades with things like back air. Make sense?
Yep.
As well as you also have like up smash is a great anti-air in a matchup like this because it's just a big ugly disjoint. Nice. Good weight. And see, he's trying to catch you like coming in now, and like that's the thing. You don't want to take the bait. The goal in this situation is to like really abuse your patience, because if you outpatient him, he's gonna give you the targets. Trying to like chase Inkling, not feasible. It's just not, and you're not fast enough to do it as Ness. So you're constantly having to
Zelda boss. It's like the Zelda boss.
Yes, exactly.
Right opening.
A big thing too is like you can punish like Inkling's outer shield options are in like Joker department where they are okay, and this is like one of the slight flaws because their best option is up smash, and that is like strictly in front of them, right? So up smash like is like their good option because their aerials are hit only in specific places. So up smash is frame 9, which is really good for an up smash, but back air is their next one, and nair, but both of those hit high, so there's a blind spot in what they're doing. That makes sense.
Yep.
So you want to avoid like allowing yourself to get grabbed as well. That's another big thing. That's like you don't want to give Inkling this grab ever. And so that's why you want to actively, like, if you're going to hit the front of their shield, you have to space around up smash and grab. Making sense?
Yep.
Round up smash. I think Inkling's grab, where is it? She'll grab 12. See, it's actually like not that good.
Yeah.
It's very like okay. It's 8. Like the good ones are 6. So it's not bad, but it's not like great. Oh, funky. Yeah, that's okay.
That's how he gets me a lot.
Yeah, that's a rough one where you get put in that situation where you get hit down and away. It's just kind of rough. And you see here, it's like you're trying to trade with him here mid combo. This is where you start losing every time. See that? Yeah. And you get reset. And then you're constantly whiffing in disadvantage, and then he gets to keep resetting you. The goal when you're fighting Inkling is don't reset yourself versus Inkling. That's the bait. They're the best Inklings. Like what they do is they hit you, and when they know they can't hit you, they make it look like they're gonna go hit you again to bait you to whiff, which gives them another hit, and it lets them put you in another shitty position. That makes sense?
So what do I do in that situation?
You just drift away from them and see what they do.
Okay.
And then if he overextends, then you try hit him. Then you try air dodge, because you have the frame data to do that.
Yeah.
But you have to do it like on reaction. You cannot like preemptively try to cover yourself, because Inkling has too high mobility to punish you for like mashing, essentially. That like this character is like one of the quintessential like anti-masher characters, because they're so hard to hit that if you get caught up in the like, oh my god, and like mash 5 buttons, you're like, wait, I'm getting grabbed, oh my god, I'm getting reset, like what's going on? And like you see here, it's like you barely got away here. You reset yourself twice because you air dodged into him to try and challenge him, because you drift back into him. See that? You didn't fully drift, and then you tried to do an aerial there, and then there you tried again, and he was like, oh. And so all you have to do is just remind yourself that like, I just need to see what he's trying to do. You have to know the percents where like things aren't true on yourself, and that's what will give you that confidence in that moment, and that's why you got to just sit down and lab it out.
Yeah.
Because the whole idea is like this character tricks you. You get up thrown, and you feel bad. But you want to know when you don't need to feel bad. That makes sense?
Yep.
You want to know when up throw combos. That's really the big thing. If you know when it works, because I'll be super blunt with you, most Inkling players, they don't even know. They just do it, and then try to cover what you do out of the air dodge, or if you mash, or whatever. It's a very unexplored thing that like, even within like the Inkling Discord, they have clashing percents for like when Booyah works, because
they do. I noticed that with Ness.
Yeah, me and another student were going to make like a thing for Booyah. If you remember like the winning with DK thing from Smash 4, we were gonna make that, and then we looked at like 4 different docs, and they were all like very different, and then like one of them even had like Peach and Daisy at like different percents, and I'm like, well, this just can't be right. And I just said, we're not doing this. I don't have the time to lab this. That's another day. We'll do this.
Yeah, I saw one that had like Ness's window at like a 5% window, and another that had as like a 20% window.
yeah, and a lot of people are testing with and without rage. Some people are testing with scaling and not. And it's just one of those things that like the right people just gotta sit down and do it. And you know, today's the day you get to do it. And
I had the mod pack.
You just got to do it for your own character if that's all you want to know.
Oh.
And see here, it's like you're always landing back into him. And that's just, you're putting yourself into positional pressure. Inkling has a abnormal burst range, because it's not just the immediate action, it's the action from the dash.
Yeah. Because
of the way dash into late dash grab or immediate dash grab works. Because remember, Inkling dash grab is like, you're kind of like invincible when you do it.
Wait, where's their head?
Yeah.
Is that just a glitch, or do they just not have a hurt
I forget if they don't have a hurt box exactly, or if it like had like model issues like it says here.
Okay.
So I'm pretty sure the head's just not there because of that. But cool. When you do the dash grab, like you like lurch all the way forward and do that, but when you do that out of like a run or a dash, like remember you're already coming out of like a minimized hurt box as well. So it's even harder to stuff it out. But if you're in a good position, like you can just like jab or down tilt it. Yeah. And like that's something that you have like the tools to do, but you have to be comfortable doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where you're kind of getting tricked, is like trying to like go really, really hard every time you're fighting with them. And like you don't have to. One of the good things I will say is you're good at not putting yourself in a position to get like jabbed, and you're not getting like mixed up by splat bomb or anything like that really. But the big thing is like the situations where you're at that max burst range, where even roller is a burst range you need to worry about, because roller's not super fast. It's decent speed. It's like frame 16, I believe. Yeah, and with that, like that is just enough where you have to be careful, because it just takes one bad dash and you die, and you have to think about it like that, because you have a long dash, so you have to be careful. That makes sense.
Yep.
Okay. Do you have any questions?
I guess not fully. Like, you explained a lot to me. I guess to like kind of like contextualize some stuff.
Yeah.
The best thing to do when I'm at that percent where roller would kill and up air would kill would just be to play as far away from Inkling as possible.
It's not even as far away as possible, but just far enough away, and being a little bit more conservative, knowing that like it's not about being scared like, oh god, I can't get roller, but knowing like, okay, rollers rollers in play now, I have to be careful. Like, roller's always a problem because it's always good because they get free percent off of it, but now it's like, okay, this is their win condition now, I can't give that to them. And that's the same thing, like learning your up throw up air percent, or like at least close to it, the generalized idea, so you know when to be more careful. But that's really the big thing, is like you just have to be self-aware of like, okay, this is where things are extra scary. And it's like roller after like 100 is just like, or like I would rather say 120 because that's where you want to get better at mashing. But once you reach like 120, that's like the threshold where you just can't get rollered anymore, because then you die, unless they mess up.
Gotcha.
And that's really the big thing to keep in mind, so that you're not being scared, but that you're observing and understanding like what they're trying to do to you.
Gotcha.
So is this do you want to play it as Ness, or where are you in that?
I haven't decided yet.
Okay.
He says the Inkling Alice was like, I think Lucas does better in the matchup personally, and when we played, we did 2 best of 5s, and they both went like Ness and Lucas both went to game 5, so it didn't really tell me too much. This is offline. We played in my backyard. Socially distanced backyard.
Good job.
Monitor had that. Yeah.
Good.
Masks. Anyway. It was like really back and forth, and I'm still figuring out who I want to go for it. It might be stage dependent. It might just be whoever I feel like I'm playing better with that day. It might be playstyle dependent.
If I were to pick for you, I would say try to learn it more with Lucas. I think between me and you, I think Lucas is a little bit of a better character and has a little bit more. Is a little bit better at dealing with what Inkling does, because you just have these wonderful, beautiful, ugly hitboxes.
I mean, I want to start using Lucas for a lot more matchups. There's still ones I'm going to use Ness for. Pika, Joker, Fox, like clear ones where I think Ness clearly does better, but there are ones I think Lucas does better. I think this is a really good example of one.
And I would definitely try learning it a little bit more. But basically everything I just said to you in that last game, like it all applies seamlessly to this, is that it's all conceptual. So the way that you do this, where even let's say you get counterpicked and you get locked into Snake, like all that information still applies. And like that's the big thing. Is like it's just learning to fight Inkling and like what Inkling does. And like the best part about why I really like Lucas in this matchup is like this is a matchup where it's like, I want you to get rid of those up airs. This is just a forward air. You're fighting Inkling like you're a sword character. So it's like forward air and your tilts.
Forward tilt.
Forward air, forward tilt, up tilt, dash back, pivot grab, whatever, like all that stuff. Your goal is like this distance, always. Don't get closer. You don't need to box with Inkling because your moves are big enough, so it doesn't matter. And if you ever do, like your down tilt and your jab and everything are great anyway, so it's fine. But the goal is like mid-range. Keep it at mid-range. Don't let Inkling get closer, because the leeway that Inkling gets in this matchup and like the way Inkling kind of gets leverage is like the mid-percent combos are good on you, and jab is free 20% basically. Do you know how to deal with multi-hit jab?
Isn't it hold shield and B so you don't roll accidentally?
So what you want to do,
shield SDI away.
So I'm not for when you get hit by it. So what you want to do is, if you know that like you're playing someone that likes to jab a lot, you can SDI jab 1 and 2 up and away to take less of the multi-hit. And that's really, really important to do, so that instead of taking like 18%, you take like 9 or 10% depending on your character. And like getting the awareness for that is really, really good. And then for the shield SDI, you got that exactly right. Certain characters can roll through, like with the 13 hit or whatever number it is, I forget off the top of my head right now. and to roll behind to punish. But it's very dependent on the character, and I don't remember the list off the top of my head, so I would test it out.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
On a quick note, at least for quarantine, I might switch back after, but since I don't have to deal with the wireless interference, and I'm hoping that I can get a mod for it soon, I'm switching to Pro Controller. I found just wave bouncing on it so much easier.
Oh yeah, it's great. Yeah.
Is SDI? I haven't seen the Ridges mod for it, but I feel like SDI might be easier if I try and get the Ridges mod.
Yeah. So I'll show it on stream here. You won't even really. I don't know if you can like see it, but I used to play on Pro Controller, and you can just get basic notches, which is like the GameCube ones.
Yeah.
I think in your area, Evil.
Yeah.
He does it, and he would do a good job. I would trust him to do it. So I would contact him and see what his prices are.
You think it's good for the?
Oh, it's a million% worth it. I got this notched like first Genesis of Smash Ultimate. I was like, I knew I would need it. It's super worth it, and it doesn't really help for like SA or anything, but just helps you get cleaner inputs. That's all it is.
Okay.
Because the way he notches it, or like the way people like good people do it, is they'll test your controller and make sure the notches like line up correctly for your stick box.
Oh wow, cool.
Yeah, and so it'll be like perfectly personalized. And he specifically works with Pro Controllers, so it'll be really good for you.
Awesome.
Okay, cool. But yeah, I would definitely recommend doing that. I would even get it for both sticks so that you can do the angle tilts and stuff like that too. Yeah, it's super worth it. Okay, cool. Let's see what you're doing here. But yeah, see there's like where you're getting hit, it's like fill that with forward air. And like that's it. Like that's the only thing that you're doing wrong here is like just fill in this gap of like that's your Marth forward air. It's just like stay away. And you're just getting too close to him. That's really it. And I think that's the big thing that's hurting you is like just in general, I think you're just fighting people a little bit too much. And I really want you to like it's one of those things that you have a little bit less shame and just play the keep away game a little bit better because like that's what's super potent with all of your characters. Yeah. Is they're obnoxious to interact with. And it's not about like always actively not interacting. It's knowing when you win the interaction and knowing when it's worth it. And like here, it's like what you're doing is like was really, really good. And then you're getting a little bit too ahead of yourself on the like input wise. And all you got to do is like catch him at these a few times because it only takes winning interactions like 4 times as Lucas. And he dies. And it doesn't matter how he recovers or anything because, you know, you're really good at hitting 2 frames. Like that's just the reality at it. And you want to use that to your advantage. That it's like that's one of your like serious win conditions.
Still so good in this matchup.
Yeah. Because I know that you're trying to get a lot of percent. I don't want you to worry about getting more percent with like up air, nair, and like all that shenanigans. I just want you to hit him away. This is SWAT the Fly Simulator. You ever played like WarioWare?
Yeah.
That's what this matchup is. It's just whoosh, and then just slap him back. The next fly comes in, and that's just Inkling coming back at you, or the reset. Like that's it.
This isn't one of the matchups where I want to go for the Twitter combos. Basically.
Yeah, you're not trying to fight Inkling. You're not trying to fight Inkling because
what are characters in the game that I would want to try and fight? Just
a character that you can overwhelm, or a player that you can overwhelm. Yeah. So someone that isn't super familiar with a matchup, or someone who is uncomfortable, or to be blunt, someone that you are significantly better than. In those situations are where you get to kind of just do whatever you want and like go for a little bit of the mix-ups on the styles. But you want to get this first, like again, it's like we talked about like the game plans. You want to get that first base game plan down. Then you start adding the spice and the mix-ups. Because right now you haven't solidified you cannot just hit me easily. Right now you are, I want to hit you, but you're annoying to hit. And instead of worrying about hitting him, make him worry about hitting you.
Gotcha.
Because he can't just dash around for free if you do really good like grounded or landing PK fires, like wave bounce ones, as well as like I said, your tilts are huge. He can't challenge you in the air because your forward air beats him in the air. Your forward air is bigger than his back air. That's the big thing that you want to keep in mind is like you can win the air to air, but it's like actively being aware of that to use that to your advantage. Fair is like your #1 tool, and you want to like master that move so that like you can beat people with just forward air and edge guarding or like F tilt. Like I've literally beaten people by just doing that because it's just that good. It's great, dude. It's ZSS Nair, but easier to use.
I think it probably is a top 3 fair in the game.
Honestly, it might. It honestly might. It's up there for sure. And that's the kind of thing that you want to keep in mind. Is like you want to have confidence in that and being like, yeah, this is really good always. But it's like you keep turning your back to him, and then he just throws in a move and stuffs you out. And then like you're jumping when he's above you, and you should just be up tilting. And like you're jumping near him and like trying to Zaire into him and like all this stuff. And like all you got to do is like abuse that fair and like hit that spaced fair. You're trying too hard to hit him with it and trying to like combo that you're forgetting like, wait a minute. This move is obnoxious. I need to use it that way instead of worrying about hitting him, because percent doesn't matter, because it's just getting him off stage at over 80% and he dies. That's it.
Yeah.
And you want to think of it like, oh, it can just be that easy. And then remember, you get to play percent game 5 different directions, because if they get to 120 or like 150, it doesn't matter where you grab them, Inkling dies.
They're dead.
Yeah. So you don't need to worry about it. You can play that slow chip game. Like this is another matchup where like percent game is so valuable, because sometimes the Inkling player is going to be really good at just getting out and not getting a reset over and over. And you see here, it's like you're getting really close to that situation now. Is this with Pro Controller?
This was with GameCube.
Okay. Make sure when you get your Pro Controller modded by Evil to also get snapback reduction. Okay.
Okay.
Because I will say that is something that really does suck on Pro Controllers. And will be really important so that you don't accidentally pivot grab and stuff like that.
Gotcha. Does he just do like mail-ins?
I would imagine he'd let you, especially since you're local. He might even let you just drop it off at his place if you don't live that far from him.
Yeah.
Gotcha. But I imagine he would. I would just hit him up and see if he's available. If not, I can help you find someone else who you could mail it into.
Awesome.
Okay. And yes, here, now that you were doing the forward airs, you showed him, like, I'm not going to let you hit me for free. And immediately the pace of the game changed. Watch this. So after this reset, he gets out of this, right? And he gets away, and then watch. You're throwing out hitboxes to, like, stuff him out. And he's like, now he's playing a little bit safer. And then you mixed him up and hit a PK fire. That's what you're trying to do, is set that pace where he has to think about how he's going to hit you. But when you start throwing a bunch of stuff out, that's when he gets to hit you for free. That makes sense.
I can tell he's really taking advantage of my mashing.
It's like you're getting hit for dashing, you're getting hit for like throwing out hitboxes in the wrong place. Like remember, up tilt and forward air. You want to master those, because you can just beat people by just doing that. It can be that simple, and that's like the best part of like this character. Oh, tech? Aw, a little too far. That's okay. Yeah. But yeah, do you have any questions?
No, you explained the matchup really well. It's kind of like, it feels a little bit like I don't know, there's not too many characters that play like Inkling.
No, there's nothing.
Yeah.
If you remember, like in Smash 4, when you fight a character like Bayo, it's like the way the game is played is different. And remember we talked about like that's what Snake does. And Inkling does that too, because Inkling has this unique trait that is, she's the hardest character to hit in the entire game if done correctly. Like that's the reality. And abusing that efficiently changes the entire game, and you just have to accept it. And instead of playing the like I'm gonna chase Inkling game, you know, I imagine you've watched Cosmos play Inkling, and there have been times where he has just camped the hell out of people and just ran away because you realize that they're willing to chase him. So who cares? Don't bother. And like that's what you got to do to people. And if you don't take that bait, the best part is your character doesn't even have to, because you have things like PK Fire to like pressure from significantly further away, as well as you have really, really good like SWAT tools to just get him away, where like you have literal swords and you want to use them like that.
Makes sense.
Okay.
As for stages in the matchup, I am conflicted on Kalos because I get the wall bonk, but he gets a wall jump. But I feel like I want to take Inkling to a big stage.
So that's the thing. It depends on the person. It's very much person oriented. I think Inkling doesn't have a bad stage. The only stage that I would say, if someone is really, really good at comboing you, don't let them go to like Smashville because of the platform.
Yeah. Well, that's an auto ban for Lucas.
I know, but still, either way, it's like if you feel like you're getting like over comboed or you're getting reset really, really well, take it upon yourself to not put yourself in that. But it's very much Inkling to Inkling, and I'll be blunt with you. Like some Inklings are really good on FD. Some Inklings are really good on Smashville. Some Inklings are really good on tripods, and some of them suck on some of them too. And so it's very much feeling it out in plays, and just being like, is this person really good on platforms? Is this person really good at like landing traps? Is this person really good at ledge trapping? Do I want to make it harder for them? Whatever it is, like there isn't a right answer. Because Inkling is just one of the best characters in the game. That's just the reality, and you just got to feel it out in the moment and trust your gut. Go with confidence. Don't really analyze the stages themselves. Big space can be good because it's harder to get killed, especially as your characters, but big space can be bad because it's harder to hit Inkling, and it depends on how you feel in that moment.
Makes sense. I think Lucas Inkling is probably even, personally.
I think it's even, or like maybe slight Inkling favor, but it's very much like it could easily be even. Like that's the big thing.
The best DI is just up and out or just straight out on up throw for like their combos, or I guess it depends.
It depends because the goal, I mean, I'll just say this, it's not down and it's never in.
Okay.
Anywhere else is a mix up.
Yeah.
The higher percent you go, the more like mix ups you get. But for your Booyah specific, it depends on your character. There are even certain characters where no DI can be optimal as well. It's very, very weird. So there is no right answer. It's very, very situational. And it's one of those things that like what you would want to do is if you get hit by like a weird up air combo, you just clip that specific thing and then go test that exact like circumstance in the training mode mod pack.
Perfect. Yeah.
Make sense?
Makes perfect sense.
Awesome.
Speaking of training mode, since we have 15 minutes left, I want to discuss kind of using it to the best of my ability, and like I kind of wanted to talk about making drills for using training mode, because that's something that I've been meaning to like do, like reps, and I've just been like thinking about my characters and what they get out of it, and I've kind of wanted to make like a really extensive drill list of things to go over for my characters while in training mode. I wanted to make videos too, like
that'd be awesome.
Maybe if I ever got like, if it got popular, I'd maybe try and do one for every character, like going into Discords and stuff.
Yeah, no, that'd be cool. I think that's really dope idea.
So like, I guess I'm gonna get like my notepad out now just so I can like, if you have any suggestions on things to add.
Yeah, for sure. Let me know when you're ready, and I can tell you like some of the basic ones that I usually tell people. I don't go into like super hyper specifics usually, and that's where like I want you to kind of build your own creativity with that. But I can give you some of the base ideas for sure.
So for now, I have clear stuff like PK Thunder angles. Magnet. Magnet momentum stuff. PK double jump, PK fire. I think one that people forget a lot is like grabbing the ledge with the max distance of your air dodge.
Things like that. And doing that on each stage is important too, because every stage has different ledge grab boxes.
I literally labbed it, and I found out that for Ness, if he drops from the FD platform, the max distance of his air dodge is 35 frames after he drops down from ledge.
Oh my god.
For context on how broken that is, Mario's is 21.
Oh yeah. No, Ness's air dodge is so good. It's wild.
Play Snake a little bit, because the Ness stuff's pretty simple. I feel like there's nothing super complex that he has.
A really big thing is like
stuff.
The basic stuff you want to lab out is like positioning control and like mobility, right? So that's walking, dashing, running in succession in 2 different actions. It can be character specific, whatever, but you want to be able to do all of those things and be able to like actively do that without thinking. And so that's something you can do like subconscious practice. The way I usually tell people to do this is if you want to practice like walking and doing things, practice doing it, but have like something else on that's taking your primary like attention. So like a stream or Netflix or whatever. Almost like, you know, when people like work out and like watch a movie, right? It's the same idea, but you're like doing your hand and your brain and like in game. So you have that. Ledge trumping. Practice ledge trumping. It's one of those things that just like in Smash 4, not enough people do it, and it's super duper busted, especially with all your characters. It's very, very good. There's a lot you get with all of your characters with that. So you have that. Then you have ledge trapping with each of your characters, and ledge trapping different types of characters. So that's like size and different get up speeds as well. So you have that. As well as low percent combos. Low percent combos is like a really big thing that I mentioned earlier in the lesson, but that's a very, very important thing because you want to make sure things are like, things can be safe on hit, but that does not mean they combo. Does that make sense?
Gotcha.
And that's a big thing that you want to make sure you have enough awareness of and like understanding, because the reality is most people don't. So that allows you to be in control in that situation, even if it's like a scramble. That makes sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead.
What are any like good Snake specific techs outside of like wave bouncing and grenade movements that practice regularly?
That's where like the walking positioning stuff will be really valuable.
Yeah.
It's like your mobility control, because Snake is a character that can really flourishes with subtle movement, like very simplistic movement, where just walking around and existing and throwing a single nade, being able to do that confidently is one of the scariest things in the game, because there's not a right answer. You want to be able to do that to people, like just walk backwards and lob a grenade like normally. Like you want to be able to do that and like without having to think about it. That makes sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
It's really the basic things. Like that's the thing. It's like there's not like crazy tech, but it's about being able to do the really simple stuff, because like I've told you before, it's like the simpler it is, the easier it is to mess up.
Yeah, I think that's like kind of the trouble of quarantine right now, is like I really want to like, I don't like Wi-Fi.
I know, yeah. And that's completely valid. I get it. And that's the thing where it's like, even if, because I know you have your whole setup where like you have a safe way to play with people, even if you do that once a month, that's really valuable.
And I want to like get the most out of this game while not playing Wi-Fi as best as I can, especially training mode, because like, you know, in Melee you could just sit there and play with your boots, labbed out your Fox multi-shines or whatever until they were perfect, and I want to do that with Ultimate, like really explore all like
and that's the thing, that's what that simple stuff is the walking, like, to be blunt with you, it's the not fun stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
But you got to do it, because like that's the thing where like, just like what I was saying before, I want you to be able to beat someone as Lucas with forward air, up tilt, and F tilt, and nothing else. Like I want you to be able to feel that like power and control. But to do that, you gotta really maximize the really simple, boring, just movement control. That's it. You want to make sure you don't accidentally turn around. You want to make sure that like you are positioning and like you know how far you go and how fast you go and like all that stuff. You want to be aware of your own character so that you can do all that stuff without having to think about it and without having to look at yourself. That's a really, really big thing. It's like having enough confidence to not have to actively look at your character, because that's where people make the most mistakes, is being overtly self-conscious.
Yep.
Make sense?
Makes perfect sense.
Okay.
I also have one thing to help that I use to practice parries a lot, is I have a controller with a macro thing in it, so I can do inputs and then have them replay.
That's really good.
So I have like literally the ultimate training mode.
Dude, yeah, no, literally, like all I want you to do is like, even if you do play Wi-Fi, if you get met with situations that you're not super familiar with, you have the tools. You have all the resources to test anything. Anything your little heart desires, you can do it. And that's what you just got to do, is take the time to do that. And it's not about learning something new every day, but making sure you stick to like even that movement stuff. You only got to do it for like half an hour a day. And like a great way to like what I usually recommend is like do half hour before you actually play, and then do half hour again while reflecting, to like get out any of the bad habits when you're playing. That makes sense?
Yeah.
And that's really, really valuable to do.
I would probably do like focus on 2 characters for that day, because I'm trying to pick up Joker as well. So whatever 2 characters I play that day, and then do half hour with one, half hour with another, because quarantine, I'm not really doing much. But I'm just trying to think of any last things. I guess since we have a little bit of time, do you think we could go over like a top Ness or top Lucas VOD, since we still have like 8 minutes left?
I don't know if I'll have time to go through another VOD for sure.
That's fine.
But we could do that next time. I think it's a really good idea.
For sure.
So I would go and
absolutely.
Find
I love watching top players.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely grab a couple of them for next time, and we can even do some like compare and contrast, and be like, here are the things that like, what we can go over is the idea of taking concepts from a player and applying it to yourself. And you remember we talked about that briefly with Snake? It's that same idea. It's just like building upon that more and more. And for now, just keep working on the busy work of just like movement and control and mobility and like stuff like that. The boring stuff. Get that out of the way, okay?
Just practice like moving around the stage, going exactly where I need to go.
And the simple stuff like ledge trapping and ledge trumping, like stuff like that, where it's just it's pretty monotonous. there's not like a trick to it aside of like where you position yourself in the setup and like the different tempos, but that's really it. Like all you got to do is just sit there and do it like half an hour to an hour a day and just grind it out. And as long as you do that, like once you get that out of the way, that's when we get to do the fun stuff. And this is the hardest part, is just sitting and being like, I just gotta not suck at moving. Like that's it. Like that's the reality. It's like I just gotta get better at moving and like walking and all that stuff. And like once you get that down, then we can start looking at the cool stuff in this more specific situations, because the answer won't just be like, oh, I moved wrong.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Then we can get to doing the havoc combos. It's
bingo. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Trying to think on any, I guess the last thing, since I am playing a lot of characters now, just because I don't know, like I want good results and I care about improving, but I'm just having fun with 4 characters now.
Yeah, like there's a balance of fun and practice, and that's important.
Yeah, absolutely. I guess like when I'm playing with people, if I'm playing with like an Inkling, should I only play the character that I intend to go for that matchup if I'm like doing a serious practice session, or should I switch out which characters I'm playing?
Yeah, like for now, like what I would do is like, seriously, if you're gonna like play sets with somebody, play it with Lucas and like grind it out and get it, because you want to remember we talked about the idea of like using Wi-Fi as like exposure training. So you want to take the time that you have to do that to just get that experience and understanding of more information.
Gotcha.
Prioritize that, and like obviously spend time having fun with the game too, and that's important. But like it's like I said, it's separating practice from fun. And balancing it's important. So like when you want to have fun and if you want to play Lucas and have fun, that's fine. But if you're trying to practice, make sure you're like seriously trying to do the right things. That's all.
Yeah. So play the character for what matchup I'd go. Yeah.
Or like if you're trying to practice ledge trapping, like, you know, you can do that with Snake, like same idea. Okay.
I know for a fact so far right now the characters I'd use Joker for are at least Belmont and Zelda, because I don't think Lucas, I don't think they lose, but I think Lucas and Snake have to play their game. Against those characters. And I just want to be able to funny red man. Especially Zelda. I hate that character.
That's
completely
valid.
Character
no, that's okay.
I am so convinced that character destroys Snake, and I don't know why.
I mean, it's not true, but it's one of those matches that's just really gross. Like it's not fun for anybody. And it's just one of those toxic ones that just exists, and you gotta learn to just sit there and be like, all right, here comes the big guy. All right, cool. I think we'll finish up there. As always, if you ever have a question, like don't ever hesitate. If you think of something 20 minutes from now, just shoot me a DM and I'll get back to you when I've got some time. Okay.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yep. And I will have your lesson uploaded on YouTube in the next day or so. If you don't see it from me, don't hesitate to shoot me a DM. And I'll talk to you later. Have a good one.
Yeah, thank you. Definitely gonna talk to you about getting my Pro Controller mod.
Yes.
I do want to start using.
Yeah. Definitely hit up Evil and let me know if he's available. If not, I'll help you out. Okay.
All right.
All right. I'll see you. Peace.